What's up, everybody? It's the Goal 60 here. It is February the 4th, Super Bowl Sunday. So I hope if you're getting ready for, your Super Bowl parties or just watching commercials or whatever you want to do today, hope you enjoy it. And the reason I'm making this video is it's the off season for me. As you know, college football is over. Baseball hasn't, started yet. We're something like 52 days or something like that away from the start of it, and I just kind of want to go over what I've been working on and will continue to work on, and just kind of give you guys, especially the ones of you that subscribe, just not that I'm just left you hanging or whatnot, but just kind of show you what I've been working on and what's to come. If you're like me, you're getting excited. Baseball season can't get here fast enough. Last season we had a lot of success with the revenge system that we followed, and I made some tweaks to it. And also during the off season, I really wanted to look at, what else can I find? Is there more that we could use this RPI or revenge to kind of, get a new system to go along with that, to even have more games and more action, I guess, and things like that. So before I get started, just make sure you like and subscribe, please, and share this video to whoever you think may want to see it. And if this is the first video you've seen of mine, just go back and check out some of the others, see what you like. This baseball season is going to be almost a video every day, because I feel like I have found something that I'll get to at the end of the video that is very successful. It was last year, and I don't see any reason that it wouldn't be successful this year. So with that, I'll jump right in. So what I did was last year, and every year for that matter, for the past 3 seasons, I keep detailed stats, not necessarily hitting, pitching, but detailed as in what kind of situation the team was in that won, what the score was, home, road, things like that. And as you can see, this is literally hand notes, schedules. You can see that's pretty thick. RPI, I print that off every day. I mean, I try to be as detailed as possible without it taking up all the time in the world, because like myself, like most everybody, I work a full-time job as well. So I can't just focus strictly on this. This is a hobby. It's something I really enjoy doing. I love putting out these videos, and hopefully you get something out of it. And if so, it's a success for me. So using last year's data, I actually collected from the beginning of April, when baseball season started, all the way through the middle of August. The reason, one, football starts, and so a lot of my attention goes to that, but also the main reason is that about the middle of August, teams that are in contention start doing, a lot better, or they continue their success. Teams that are completely out of contention for the playoffs, they kind of tank. They start bringing up, minor league players, trying them out, just kind of getting ready for the next season. And with that said, data is not as predictable when that many variances come into play. So that's why I stop middle of August. I've already kind of looked at the schedules for this season. I've got everything ready to go for the 2018 MLB season, and it looks like we'll be going through August the 19th this season, just the way that everything fell and how, the off days and things like that go. So August 19th will be when my season ends for baseball this time. So the first thing that I tried out this off season was series. A lot of places do take wagers on series, and what that is it's just like a money line. You're paying, a pretty hefty price for the favorite, and you're getting plus money for the underdog. And what it is if you take whichever team you take has to win 2 out of the first 3 games. Now, as you know, or probably know, that baseball generally is 3-game series. You will have some 2-game series and some 4-game series. And what happens is the 2-game series are not eligible for these wagers. And the 4-game series, they generally look at the first 3 games of that series. So all in all, 3-game series throughout the year, this would be betting that the team that you're following would win 2 of those 3 games. So what I did was I looked at the series, but I also brought in RPI. And if you're not familiar with RPI, I'll be going into that a lot more in depth as we get closer to the season. I've got another video that's going to come out later on, probably at the beginning of March, that will go into a lot of depth of what we will be doing for this upcoming baseball season, and I will go over what RPI is then. But just for this sake, instead of going into too much detail, just know it is a power type of ranking. So anyways, I looked at RPI of 5 to 19 points better. So the team that I would be looking at will be 5 to 19 points above the team that they're facing. And when I looked through all the series, this is fairly new to me. I didn't take the series prices from last year, so this was kind of going at a blind, just looking at how they fared on wins and losses. They won 51.2%. Now, I know that looking at, with moneyline prices, a general feel is that if you're taking a single game, and this is what these series are kind of priced as a single game, you may get, a really big favorite to be minus 180 to minus 200. And then if it's a really, 2 equally power teams, it may be closer to the minus 110. So with that said, it looks like 51.2%. And what I've kind of gathered over the years of looking at baseball is that if you're going to take a single game, it needs to be around 60% win percentage, canceling out the variance of what prices are. If it's going to be a chase, it needs to be a lot higher. It needs to be around 90%. So, looking, 5 to 19 points at 51.2%, it's just not high enough to really do us any good, and that's all the favorites. RPI of 20 points and above, we're looking at 55.1%. So obviously a better team of more than 20 points better in their power ranking is 55.1%, but still not high enough for what we need. Now, this could be useful in the future for underdogs. So I will be taking a lot more detailed stats on this and keeping up with these series prices for this season and in the future to see during next offseason, next winter, if this was actually, valuable for underdog bettors. Okay, so the next thing I looked at was another series, but it was from revenge. It was taking a team that was swept by a team before, so they lost all 3 games against a specific team. And the next time they play, what would happen? This kind of follows what we did last year, but it's for series and it's not taking into account RPI. Again, I did not have the series prices, so this is completely what happened wins and losses based with teams, not looking at their price. It did a little better. It was 57.1%, which is getting closer to that 60% range, but it's just not quite there. Now, once again, this season, this kind of was an idea that come to me, late last year during the football season, actually, when I was looking at, gathering all my baseball stuff together for the, trying to come up with something to look at, just thinking of different things to look at through your data is half the battle. And then actually looking through the data, taking the time to, so in some ways having to do it by hand. Some things you can do on Excel, but mostly by hand. So it takes a little time. It's very time consuming. So once again, the series prices I will look at more in depth this season and then in the off season. But for 2018, it doesn't look like it was profitable for us to mess with. Now the next thing is something that I have for a few years now really been interested in, is chasing. And I know if you're listening to most people, they're going to tell you not to chase. And in most sports, that's exactly, in my opinion, that's correct. Football, you don't want to chase. But in baseball, with so many games, it does make sense to chase. And it has been profitable. Last year, just following the revenge system, we were up 15.25 units for the year, which was April through August 15th, like I noted before. So with this, the first thing I looked at was taking all the official and unofficial plays that we had last year and actually looking at how if the team that we were following won in the first or second game, what happened after that. So if they won in the first game, how did they fare in game 2 and 3? If they won in the second game, how did they fare in game 3? Okay, so using all occurrences, no matter price, it was 70%. Okay, so that's very good. That's in a chase. You're looking at that being a little low. You would actually may break even. It's according to what the price is to where how much of a unit you would, the variance you would get. But I will say that in the month of June, they were 11 and 8. So that is obviously too close. You would lose a lot there. That 8 is a lot more than a traditional, just thinking of percentage-wise. That is, you've lost a chase. So that may be you lost one game, or you may lost a game, had a double up the next day and lost it as well. If you take out June, it bumped it up to 76.3%. So a little higher, still not as high as what we wanted. The next way I did it is I took the exact same situation, official and unofficial plays, during that revenge system, but I looked at what would happen after they won the first or second game, what happened the third or the second and third game. But this time I looked at it with money line prices or run line prices of minus 150 or below. So more towards what we actually followed last year and how that would, what happened then. Because you can't predict way in the future. One thing I do want to say is these prices come out. Generally, they're released the day before at like 7 o'clock p.m., according to where you're living in the country. But after, later in the day when most of the games have started, they'll release the games for the next day. So you can't predict. You can't say, okay, a week from now, this team versus this team A versus team B is going to be this price. You can't do that. So you try to, the reason I like to start off with minus 150 or below is that if you lose that first game, you have to double up the next. You haven't, you're not having to risk 10 units for a second game in the series. You're risking a lot lower. So with minus 150 or less on the run line or on the money line, and also if you're the underdog and you're taking a plus 1.5 on the run line, minus 150 on that price or below as well. Went 81.5%. Now once again, June was a tough month for this. It was 9 and 5. So if you took out June, you bumped up to 87.5%, which is a lot closer to that 90% range that a good gauge of where you need to be with the chase for it to be successful. So 87.5% if you took out June. If you played it through with June in, it was 81.5%. So those systems that I've been talking about so far really, to me, weren't profitable enough for us to take a chance on this season. Now, I will be taking these in consideration during the 2018 season in the fact that I will be continuing to take in data, and I'll give you during the season, kind of an update of where those stand and using them to see if I can't come up with something better for 2019. But the next one is the big one. Okay, this is the one that really was successful, and I really do not see a reason why it wouldn't be successful for this season and next season and for years to come. So this and the revenge system that we played last year will be what we do this year. And once again, what I'm about to talk about is a very broad-based, overlook of it. And I'll be doing a lot more in depth in a few weeks when I put out the next video, probably at the 1st of March, somewhere around that time. So what I did was, this is a chase system, just like the revenge system, but it's using RPI. And so I split it up again in RPI of 5 points to 19 points, a team that is 5 to 19 points better than their opponent, and also looked at a team that is 20 or more points better than their opponent. And so with the 5 to 19 points, with a minus 150 money line or the run line plus 1.5 being priced at minus 150 or below, the first game, during that price, went 93.8%. Now also, not only was it 93.8% win percentage, it was also a lot more action during the season. A lot of feedback that I got last year in the revenge system was it was great, but it also was very, you would have weeks where you didn't have a play, but then you'd have a week where you had 5. Well, this, you've got plays from about the 3rd series in the year, so probably about 10 days after the season starts, all the way up to until we stop playing in the middle of August. This thing is going to be jam-packed. That's why I will probably have a video every single day. It'll be a short video, literally, 2 to 3 minutes every evening as the prices come out for the next day. I'm going to try to put one out and have that every single day as the season goes on. The RPI of 20 or more points, same setup. RPI of 20 or more points, 92.2%. Those were awesome. Once again, something about June wasn't as great, but if this is just playing all the way through, playing June, playing every single, every time this occurrence happens, together, if you combine both of those, RPI of pretty much 5 points or better, the teams, 92.9%. That is unreal. And if you look at it, we're talking like 40 units, at profit. Taking out the losses, you're looking at that being that well. So 40 units up. So like I said, more to come on that. Be patient. One more video between now and the start of the season will be at the 1st of March. And then the season starts March the 29th. And about 10 days after the start of the season is when we start clicking. We start getting these plays, the revenge system and the new system. I'll come up with some kind of name before then for it. And can't wait. Please, like I said at the start of the video, if you like this, please like it, share it. Also, if you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe. And once you become a subscriber or are a subscriber, please make sure you hit that bell. That way that you get notifications every time I post a video. And like I said, things are coming. It's going to be a great season. This is completely data driven. Everything I do is data driven. This is not, me just throwing darts at the wall. This is me completely following the data. There are going to be a few more things built into this system that, parameters of why we wouldn't take something. In my opinion, you keep knocking reasons out to eliminate some of these games, you get less and less risk on what you are taking. And with what I've got, I've had a few parameters that I adjusted that I didn't talk about today, and it's still come out to 92.9% win percentage. That's huge. That is amazing. That's a lot of action every single day of the baseball season. So make sure you join in and take that. And just good luck today if you're doing anything on the Super Bowl. If you're having, everybody stay safe, have a good time, watch the game, enjoy it, enjoy all the funny new commercials and all the good food, and have a great day. And I will talk to you at the 1st of March. Thanks.